All right, everybody, welcome to Virtual Bourbon. My name is Steve Akley. We have a fun event tonight. We are going to be trying 3 offerings from StilL 630, and this is cool because it's the big one. This is a release that they do once a year, and it comes in really cool bottles that look like this. They're etched and things like that, so no label on them at all. They do put a little card on there that gives you the information that you need, government warnings and such. But yeah, they come in these really cool bottles, and comes out once a year and sells out. So that's the big once a year release that they do, and it's a 5-year offering. So it is a 5-year rye. They're called Rallypoint Rye, and it's put out at barrel strength. So that's what we're going to be tasting. We're going to be tasting the previous 3 years, so 2019, 2020, and 2021. And we are it's not a blind tasting. We know which is which. But we are going to go ahead and have some fun. We'll go through and taste them all through one time where we all share our nosing tasting notes on those. And then we'll go back through a second time, a little bit more high level. We won't ask anybody individually to share their tasting notes. And then I'll give you just a little bit of time to go through yourself, and then we'll rank them 1, 2, and 3. That's simple. 1 being your favorite, second being your second favorite, third being your third. And then we'll see what the best one is. We'll declare a winner tonight. We'll know at the end of the night which is the best year. Now, I assume if we had David Weglars on here, who is the owner of StilL 630, good guy, he would probably want 2021 to be the best one. And the reason for that is, it feels like if you've got a yearly release, you always want to kind of top yourself the previous year, right? So I think that's always the goal. So we'll see if Dave is able to successfully do that or not. Great place to go if you're here in St. Louis visiting, or you're from here. You should definitely go to the distillery and see it. Now, it is an interesting place. Like I took Justine there when she was in town the first time, and she's like, wait a minute, that's it? It's an old Hardee's restaurant. That's all that it is. If it's a fast food place that has been converted into a distillery. They do everything there on site, including store some of their barrels. They can't store them all there because, again, it's a Hardee's restaurant. It's pretty small, actually, but they do store some of them on site there, and then they have a separate location where they store the rest of their barrels. But for the most part, if you go there, you can see the entire process. I think they only give tours because they're a small, basically 1-person company, though there are 2 employees. But for the most part, Dave is there, he's distilling, and then Andrew, his employee, is out working on distribution. So in St. Louis or Missouri, I guess you can self-distribute, and Andrew's out doing that mostly. He's out working the fields, or in liquor stores, pouring things and that. So, but that's it, two-person company, which is pretty wild. They do get some help on event nights. They get bartenders and people to bus tables and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's normally just Andrew and Dave that are working there. So we're going to start with our first one here, but we do like to work one ahead. So we've got 2019 already poured. Again, we're going in the order of the years. We'll pour 2020. That's just to give it a little bit of time to sit as we talk about 2019. So you can pour that one, meaning you'll have 2 poured at the moment, but put 2020 aside and go back to 2019. Colors are good on well, I can only see the first 2 right now because we've got dark sample bottles, but color looks really good. I mean, that's a good indicator. Again, 5-year-old product. Rye does tend to mature quicker, so 5 years on a rye is pretty good. Let's talk about what we're getting here on the nose as we do our first one. Kind of a sweet and bakery like, so maybe like orange rolls or something like that. I'm gonna, because I would say it's fruity to me.
Yeah, I get a little. I was gonna say I get a little citrus.
Yeah, so citrus fruity, so orange rolls or something like that. Anybody getting anything different on the nose or anything worth talking about?
I get a little vanilla.
Vanilla, okay.
I would say it smells kind of like a Danish.
Like a Danish, yeah.
A little sweet, cakey.
Yeah, definitely in line with what I'm getting there too. Brian, you're giving it a pretty good nose there. Anything?
Well, my sniffer's a little off. They're harvesting corn all around me, so I'm a little stuffy. But yeah. I'm definitely getting the sweetness and the citrus.
Okay. Allison, any Anything different for you or?
I'm horrible at telling what it tastes like. I just like to taste it.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's absolutely okay. Some of the best master distillers in the world will tell you the stuff that we talk about is not there. It's just either good or bad. That's how they tell you. So you can always do that.
You can be our Mr. Bill understudy tonight and just say, I like
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. We have one guy who famously, that's what he likes to say. If he says, I like it, that means that's really good. That's a great rating for him. So, but first one, well, cheers, gang. Cheers on that. And let's see what we got here taste wise. Well, that's really good. Really good.
Yeah.
Were you saying something there, Brian?
No, it's I was reacting. It's nice, spicy.
It's spicy.
Yeah.
Again, this one comes in, it's a high proof 126.1. Finish is awesome. I mean, I'd say that's perfection because it heats up enough without being over the top. I don't think you would guess 126 either. It's the heat that you get is flavor, and man, it's all across the board there. It's almost like sweet, like maybe even like syrupy sweet, but it's also it does have the wood, the oak. You get some of that stuff, leathery. It's just there's a nice flavor there. And then you get the spicy of the rye at the end that sticks around and gives just a great finish. What do you think of Justine, taste wise?
I get a little bit of like a coffee flavor, but not like straight
Mhm.
coffee, like a sweet coffee, like a latte or mocha, chino, whatever you call those things.
Right. Need like a map to order it, do a Starbucks order with all that stuff.
Yeah.
One of those things. Okay. Carrie, how about you?
I think it tastes like a Fig Newton.
Like a Fig Newton. That's good.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yep. I like Fig Newtons.
Mhm.
I just like the standard ones though. I don't like all the
Yeah.
other ones. I'm old school on those, on the Fig Newton. Bob, how about you? What are your thoughts? Any tasting notes that you're getting that you'd like to share with this one?
I am definitely getting the spice. It's a nice spicy after finish,
Mhm.
finish. Still getting that sweet little sweetness up front. I like
Yep.
your description of mapley a little bit. I think
Mhm.
that I'm getting kind of like the maple caramel somewhere in that range, I think.
Yeah. It's amazing how it transitions through all of that to at the end is kind of on the spicy notes. That's where
Mhm.
it kind of stays with you. For me, it's sticking around kind of mid tongue and
Yep.
kind of giving you those little ping, ping, ping of that rye spice. So it's cool. It's a good one. Brian, what are your tasting notes?
I agree. I love the finish, and this one's got some layers to it. It starts out sweet. You get a
Yeah.
little bit of heat, and then it's got some of those richer, more savory notes start coming in on the back end.
All right.
This one's really good.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and just end the meeting, and we're going to say 2019 wins, and that's it. It's a mic drop. It's a mic drop moment, right? No, we're going to do the rest of them, of course. So, Allison, we are going to ask you, and again, don't feel uncomfortable, and it could be a thing too, where as you do these more, then you get into it, or maybe it's just you're always like Mr. Bill, our buddy Mr. Bill is just always I really like it or I don't like it, and yeah. So, I don't any tasting notes you'd like to share.
So that one made my mouth feel warm for a long time after I tasted it.
Mhm.
I think it's a little bit higher proof than I normally like to drink.
Okay.
Sip it by a fire or in the bathtub for sure.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We would always say, but this could be a new one for us. We do say it around the fire, like that's an outdoor kind of around the fire, but maybe in the bathtub is another new one too that we do.
I
Kind
like
of
in the bathtub.
yeah, that's not bad.
Bathtub bourbon.
That's it, in the bathtub
Give it
bourbon.
a
Yeah.
try.
And we develop our own vernacular with these things, so we'll put that in the mix, and we'll only know what we're talking about when we say that kind of stuff. So we allow a tasting note of that has bourbon taste to it. Now other places will be like, you can't say that. You're telling us what the bourbon tastes like. You can't say it has a bourbon taste. We allow that. That's perfectly fine in our group. So that's who we are. So all right, well, that's good. And again, what we like to do, we always go through a second time because sometimes things evolve. Sometimes the whiskey will evolve. Sometimes maybe we evolve. Maybe it's, there's different factors that can contribute to that. But we'll put 2019 aside. We're going to pour 2021 because we pour the one ahead. That'll be our last pour of the evening, but we'll pour that out there right now. And then the one we're going to be talking about, though, in just a second here is 2020. All right, this, I don't know, they all are pretty consistent in color, I'll say that. This one might be slightly darker than the others, but not by much if it is. They're pretty close here. All right. Again, we're talking about 2020 here. They should all be poured now, though. Okay. This one's definitely different than the first one. And you're getting some notes of like tobacco on the nose and even a little, I was getting a little mint on when I first nosed it. I felt like there was a little bit of mint there. I don't know that sticks around, but that's kind of what I'm getting.
Get a dark fruit too,
Dark fruit. Okay.
like a plum or something. Yeah,
Like a plum.
really rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got just a hint of like a banana Laffy Taffy. I don't know when I first sniffed it.
Okay.
Just a little.
I was going with banana bread, Brian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Banana bread. Both of which we use in our normal tasting wheel. Banana bread and Laffy Taffy.
Juicy fruit.
Mhm.
I don't get that. I'm just saying we use
Right.
that.
That is a normal one for us. All right, let's taste this one. I'm interested here. Again, different on the nose. Let's see what we got on the taste. Totally different. Boy,
A little
definitely
like
doesn't.
corn silk.
Corn silk. Okay,
I was thinking that too.
that's cool. Corn silk. This one is much lower proof. So this one comes in at 115.4. So, 10 proof points lower than the other one, but not a low proof by any means. Boy, there's a flavor there.
Like cotton candy almost.
Cotton candy. Yeah, it's definitely sweet.
But the fruitiness goes away when you taste it. The fruitiness that you get on the nose isn't there in the taste. It's sweet, but it's also got that tobacco and leather.
Yeah, it does. And the mouthfeel is really nice. I mean, these are viscous, kind of what you're looking for in a whiskey versus, some of them taste more watery, and that's definitely not the case here. So very good. Bob, what are your thoughts? Any unique taste you want to?
I was getting something I couldn't quite pinpoint. I don't know if it's kind of like some sort of a nut in I didn't think it was as sweet as the 2019.
Yeah.
I got something in the kind of the middle of my tongue that had a kind of a sweet or nutty note to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's maybe like a hazelnut.
Yeah, that's probably
good. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Like, what are the long
Filberts, Brazil nuts.
yeah, they're kind of like almost like banana shaped.
Yeah,
Cashew.
Brazil nut. What? Brazil nut.
the Brazil nut, I think.
Or a cashew, like you were
Cashew.
saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cashew's kind of banana shaped for sure, as Allison was saying there. Very good.
Yeah, I was thinking the ones they're in like a really dark brown, hard shell, but they're kind of like,
Yeah,
That's
those are
gotta
the
be
Brazil
that's
nuts.
the Brazil nut then, yeah. Yeah. Allison, any other thoughts on this one, tasting through
It's okay.
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't buy it for the bathtub
it? Hmm.
or buy a bottle for my collection, but I would probably drink it if I was somewhere and had it.
Yeah. It's definitely drink worthy, sip worthy for sure. So it's good enough for that. Brian, any other notes you'd like to hit on this one?
I don't think so. I think we've covered it.
Okay. All right. Carrie, anything else?
Nope, I think I got it.
All right, Justine.
nope.
No, okay. All right. Let's put number 2 aside. Again, we'll be coming back to these in a minute here. But let's pick up number 3. Get a little drink of water here. All right. Number 3. This one from this year comes in at 121.2 proof. So this is between the other ones. Now this one, now I'm getting some of that banana Laffy Taffy on the nose in this one.
I was gonna say honey bun.
Honey bun, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Once again, just very different than the other two. Maybe that bit of honey. Remember that candy?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting, a little maple, and a bit of
Yeah.
honey was kind of mapley a little bit.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's what it is. Allison, you getting some of that kind of stuff too? Carrie or Justine, anything else on the nose?
No, I like it. It's it's definitely different than the other two. It's a lot sweeter on the nose.
Yeah.
I was getting first thing that came to mind was some type of a baked good. I was thinking like a sweet bran muffin, but when Justine said honey bun, I think that's closer.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. The honey in general is good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what we got on taste here. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Wowzers. That again, so much going on there. It literally goes from like a baked good banana to more like orange citrus to then it kind of at one point tastes a little bit like a single malt to me, like not a rye at all, more like scotchy, and then ends on a little bit on a sweet and spicy note then.
This one I feel tastes more similar to how it noses
Mhm.
Yes.
than the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
was
other
getting the
two, like-
honey on this one.
Yeah, the other two, like the nose and the taste were completely opposite. This one I feel like the nose and the taste are similar.
To me, this tastes like the lowest proof of the 3, but it is
It
not.
does. It doesn't have the
Right.
burn that the other two did. And
Yeah.
not that that's, good or bad, but I'm just saying
Right.
it didn't have that same hit.
Yeah, it does stay warmer and it kind of builds, the warmth builds, but it's not the same experience of almost, like I said, it's almost like when you were when you had Pop Rocks when you're a kid on the first ones where that rye is kind of tingling off your tongue. This not necessarily that, just kind of a general warmth it gives you, but very different. And again, 121.2, man, it does not drink like that. And those are the ones that'll get you in trouble, right? We know when it's higher proof and you can drink it too easily, that's when you get in trouble. That's when you drink till you
Fall off the
fall
porch.
off the porch, as they say.
Off the porch.
Yeah.
Fall out of the bathtub.
Or out of the bathtub. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. Let's go around the horn and we'll ask folks what their thoughts on the taste of this one. Brian, we'll start with you, man. What are your thoughts as you taste this one?
I'm getting a little more of a woody taste out of this one than the others. I think a little bit more of I don't know. It's not really like what I expect from oak, but
Right.
there's some type of woody taste.
Yeah. Bob, how about you?
I definitely got the honey up front when in the first tasted at the front of my tongue, and then a little bit more spice, but nowhere near the 2019.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just, it lingered. It had definitely a nice finish.
Yeah. Allison, any tasting notes on this one that
It's almost a little smoky to me.
kind of gets into that single malt thing? Like I was saying, like a scotch, it's got a little bit of a scotch component to it, which would be along the lines of a lot of times it's a little smoky. So yeah, interesting. I felt the same way. How about you, Justine?
Yeah, I could see that.
Mhm.
Definitely get a little smoky too. I also get a little bit of like a nutty flavor on this one. Kind of like a pecan. Like my
Mhm.
parents had a vending company when I was growing up, and they used to have these pecan rolls. They were like it's almost like a spiral, like cinnamon, looked like a cinnamon roll, but it wasn't. But it had like pecans and like a glaze, like kind of reminds me of that.
Oh, did you steal some of those from your parents growing up? Was there some
No,
some
no.
business, there's some shrinkage in the business when Justine would be around?
No,
I could see your dad crunching numbers and be like, "We're low on the pecan rolls. I don't know what's happening." It's
I mean, I would occasionally hit up the warehouse, but when you grow up with a warehouse full of candy and sweets and chips, like 50 feet from your house, like you don't want it. You know what I mean? Like you have access to it 24/7, and it's kind of like,
But your
So.
friends probably, if they came over, they're just like
Yeah.
dying for it. Yeah.
yeah. That was really the only time that my brother and I really ever like hit it up too much was when our friends came over and our parents would let us go out and raid one of the trucks or the warehouse or something.
Yeah. I had one buddy, his dad was in the ice cream business and he sold all those novelty, all the stuff on a stick or in a cone or whatever that they sold in a grocery store. Man, I'd go crazy over there. This guy, he wouldn't eat any of it. I'd go over there and just mow through that stuff. But I guess he did the same thing. He just had too much of it growing up or whatever. Man, I'd leave and they give you a bag of it. Take whatever you want.
Yeah, I eat way more candy and junk food now than I did when
Mhm.
I was growing up because they don't have the business anymore. So I don't
Yeah,
have access to it. So of course I want it now.
right. Carrie, last one is you. What are
Um,
your thoughts?
it gets that sweet, smoky, like almost like a tobacco leathery taste to me.
Yeah.
I like it. Like I said, it doesn't have that same punch, but it's got a nice heat to it.
Okay. Nice heat. Okay. All right. Well, we've been through all of them. Let's go through them again, though. And again, this is interesting, especially because we're going to start on an interesting one. Now, their first one, the 2019, has sat for a while. And does it retain that spiciness that it had? Sometimes that stuff goes away. So it'll be interesting. So, all right, let's give this a taste. Here we go. Still spicy, has tamed down a bit, not as much as it was, but
Yeah, I kind of feel like the first time, and I like higher proof, but I feel like the first time it was a little borderline aggressive.
mhm,
Borderline.
borderline.
Yeah. I mean,
And
not in a bad way, but
Right.
it definitely the heat was there.
yeah. So sitting a little bit, you feel has tamed it down where it's a little bit more approachable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. What else are we getting as we taste this one through the second time? think we talked about some baked goods. I still think that's there. There's the sweetness there, layering of some flavors.
Definitely get like some type of baking spice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still got a lot of depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Getting a little more heat now that with my second sip than I
Mhm.
did on the first one coming back.
It's
Okay.
more forward.
Yep.
the second time.
Yeah. So this will be interesting. It is the highest proof one of the evening, of course, but yeah, so it's 126.1. So that's pretty formidable. But yeah.
Yeah, it definitely hangs out at the front of my tongue.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Allison, does this still fit in the bathtub bourbon category?
Yeah, absolutely.
It hasn't lost its status.
I think it's a little less warm this time than the first time for me, actually, but still very solidly in the bathtub.
Okay. Yeah, I like what's going on here. Just overall, I mean, this is the kind of what I'm looking for with these. So it's very, very good. So I think that's a solid one. Probably going to be in the discussion at the end. We'll see what happens. But I got good feelings about that one. We'll see. All right. Let's try the second one, which again was our lowest proof of the night. This one comes in at 115.4. And again, as I went through the first time, much lighter on the nose than the other one. This one, what were we saying? Some of the tasting notes here for the first time word, Justine? Justine's usually better. with it.
The tasting note,
Yeah, what were some of the stuff we said?
I don't know. I said corn silk.
Corn
She
silk,
said Fig Newton,
Fig Newton. Yeah.
And they have the Brazil nutty.
Brazil
Yeah.
nut. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see if this stands up to that or not. Here we go. Yeah. See, now that you say that corn silk,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
It's definitely there, which is interesting, right?
Yeah, I feel like this one's a little bit more earthy than the other two.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Earthy is a good way to describe it.
Especially now that it's that.
Yeah. I don't have mash bill or anything like that. Let's see. I'm just checking if it says anything. Does not. Does not. So 2019 was the third year that he's done this. So the yearly thing, looking at the card with it now. But it doesn't say their mash bill. I'm not sure. But
I think 2020 is the one that I have a bottle of.
2020.
That was the quarantine one that had the octopus looking thing on the carved on the side.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the one I have.
Yeah, that's the pandemic version, which has a little octopus with a, I don't know, like a little warning sign or something. Or I guess that's the COVID thing, a little ball with the spikes on it.
virus.
See, yeah, the virus thing. So it's got that pandemic edition. Yeah, this one in 2018 we don't have. It'd be nice if we had 2018. I don't have any 2018, but in 2018 it won best of class whiskey in the entire American Craft Spirits Association. So most craft distilleries are involved in the Craft Spirits Association. They get together once a year, and in 2018 they award best overall, and then in 2018 this one won. It again, the 2018 version won best overall, which is pretty cool. And in 2017, or 2019. One of the years around, I think 2019, then Wood Hat won it. So 2 years in a row, we in St. Louis had the title, which is pretty cool. Best overall whiskey. But they are definitely involved in that. And that meeting, which happens in, I think, August, will be in St. Louis next year. So if anybody wants to come visit, you can come to our fine city, where Allison and I live, and go to that event and get to see all the craft distillers. Pretty cool. I'm sure there'll be all kinds of events going on that highlight what we've got going here in St. Louis on the whiskey scene. This one, really solid. I like it better even the second time than I did the first. It went up the scale a little bit. So be interesting. Any final thoughts on sample number 2 there before we move on to 3? Okay. All right. Let's pull number 3 here. And what do we got?
And I'm really kicking myself for not getting 2021.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Taste wise, it's definitely, I still feel it's the most mild of the bunch, but it does, warm up nicely, not aggressively. It's just a nice, perfect warm finish. I think, and we'll have to check with our expert here. I think this could qualify as a bathtub bourbon, or rye, I guess, in this case.
I think so.
You think, Allison, you think this has enough here to make that lofty thing?
The 2019 is better, but the 2021 has got some merit there.
Yeah. It's got some things going on for it, so for sure. Other thoughts? Anything someone wants to share here?
Kind of get a little bit of raisin on the nose that I didn't get before.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking caramel.
Caramel or raisin. Yeah. Kind of just some classic notes there for sure. Yeah. All right. Give that a taste. All right. Now, what we do next is I will give you just a few minutes here to assemble your list 1 through 3. So you'll be telling me what is your favorite, what is your second favorite, and what is your third favorite. That doesn't mean any of them are bad, but you do have to rank them 1, 2, and 3. So a couple minutes to do that. I'm playing along today too. I get an equal vote since this isn't a blind tasting or anything like that where I would have some sort of strategic advantage as the host. This is just, we're going to be saying what our favorites is, so I can play along too. Yeah, this is interesting. I do feel like I evolved a little bit here. My thoughts kind of changed just a little bit. All right, I'm locked in. How about you guys? Anybody need more time? Okay. What I'll do next, I will switch over to the spreadsheet, and which means I can hear you just fine. I can't see you though. So if you need to grab my attention, just call out to me and I can hear you. I just cannot, if you're waving to me or put something in the chat, I cannot see that. So All right, I'm going to go just the order that you guys are listed in my spreadsheet. And again, just tell me what is your favorite. And I guess the easiest way is to do it by year. And Brian, you're going to be first. So what's number one, your favorite?
I like the 21.
Okay.
Number 2 is the 19.
Okay.
And number 3 is the 20.
All right. Allison, you're next on my list.
I like the 19 and then the 21 and then the 20.
And then the 20. All right, Bob, you're next on the list.
I am 19, 21, and 20.
Okay. This is at this point, it's a 2-horse race, but we'll see. Anything can still happen here. All right, Carrie, you are next.
19, 21, and 20.
Okay. Then me, I'm actually next. I said 21, 19, and 20, same as Brian Murphy. Justine, you're last but not least.
19, 21, 20.
Okay. All right. We do have a winner. Okay.
4 against 2.
Yeah. In third place, no surprise here. It got third place in all the votes. Again, I don't think it's bad. You know, that sounds bad, but this is small margins here that the difference, but it is 2020 that ended up getting in third, only 6 points, which gets 1 point across the board because everyone put it in third place. Here's where it gets interesting. In second place with 14 points, very small margin here. In second place is 2021. That means in first place is 2019 with 16 points. So it was literally that close. Yeah. So 2019 is the one that comes out on top tonight. So that is our champion. Pretty good stuff, huh? 2019. The year after it won best whiskey in the nation. So that's pretty good.
I had it first until the second time through. The second time through, I kind of flipped a little.
I did too. That's exactly what I did. I felt through the second tasting, it changed a little bit, and I flip-flopped. The second one, the 2020, I always had in third, but I did like you, Brian. Then I flip-flopped on those. But again, that didn't change the outcome. We just made it a little bit closer, I guess. It would have been a blowout if we would have voted the other way.
I feel like it
Good
needs
to
to be
know.
badged on their website that says bathtub bourbon.
Bathtub bourbon. Bathtub bourbon.
I wish I had a bathtub because I'd totally do that now. I only have a shower. Shower bourbon is not the same as bathtub.
No,
bourbon.
no.
Oh, it
Shower
gets
bourbon.
water in it. Oh,
Yeah, you don't want that. So no, shower
Well,
bourbon, no.
not warm shower water. Oh, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. But bathtub, it's relaxing. You got a glass of that, warm bath, warm bourbon. It's good. It's good. So there it is. 2019 is our champion, the best one that Dave has done, at least the ones out of that we've tried. So that's really interesting. I have made arrangements. We'll do this again next year. I've saved enough because so we will have 19, 20, 21, and then 22 next year. So it'll be interesting to see how he does next year. And if 2022 comes back on strong enough to take the title. It'll also be fun to go back through and see if these stand up, because sometimes, again, we evolve a little bit. We could do this again tomorrow and we could come up with different results. So it'll be fun to see how they do again for next year when the next one comes out. And that does vary too. So he does this by taste. He's released those as early as March and as late as September. And again, it's come out every year, but this was a later one this year. I think it came out in September this year. It was either August or September. It was late though, for sure. So again, which is good. He does it by taste and doesn't just say, well, I've got to come out with this in the spring. He waits until it feels it's ready. So there you go. There is our StilL 630 tasting, and there's our champion. And yeah, good stuff. And I would encourage you to visit StilL 630, try their products. They've got a lot of cool stuff. They do those events called First Fridays. If you're in St. Louis, the first Friday of the month, be sure to stop by. And I think they do them actually all Fridays now. for me, the one I go to is the first one, which they always did the first Friday. Now I think they do an event every Friday where they taste out their latest experiments and stuff like that. And also you can buy bottles and stuff that are there. So it's kind of a fun event to go to. And so definitely worth checking out if you're around on a Friday. So there you go. We'll wrap this one up by saying goodbye to our audience. We do have some folks that are going to be watching at home. I will stick around and I am available. I can answer any questions you have about the world of bourbon, about my company, anything that you'd like to know. We always do that after the event officially ends. So say goodbye now. I'll just return off the recorder and we'll still chat. All right. See you guys.